Hello, 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 hello. おはようございます。こんばんは。おやすみ。俺は名前はFumiyoくん。俺は最強妖怪。よろしくお願いします。Hello, hello, hello. My name is Fumiyoくん. I am the best ghost, the only ghost that you need. And today is something a bit different, eh? Yes, hello everybody. Hi. God, you're already chatting on about in the waiting room. Let's see. Can I get a poem about titties? Absolutely not. Aren't you supposed to be asleep? No. What? Kicks on, you're supposed to be school? Yes, be in school, please. If you don't care what I do as long as I don't. Yeah, true. Uncle, hello. Hello, my son. Bonjour. Hello, Ryan. Bro, you can play PS1 on your phone. True. What's up, kiddo? Hello. Poetry? Yes, we're doing poetry time. So, for those who are completely unaware, every Friday, well, it was supposed to be every Friday, but we're trying to revitalize that again. But every Friday, there's supposed to be a poetry stream where I read poetry or I read a specific book. Now, due to the way the distribution laws are, I don't want to become a criminal. I might be dead, but I can still be haunted by my own sins. I'm going to be reading a book. So in the description of this live stream right now, you're going to find a Google Drive link that will send you off to, into a lovely little PDF. Click on that PDF and read along if you would like. That's basically what I want you to do. It's a Friday. I hope all of you are doing well. School's been tough, hasn't it? It's been. For some of you, you're still going through school. For some of you, school has ended and you're just relaxing at home. And, if you're relaxing at home, please grab a cup of tea, as I do have right now, which reminds me, let me have a sip. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. But yeah, Apex streaming should be later on this week, aka probably on a Monday, or something along those lines. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So I hope you enjoy. This is very different from my usual route of doing things. It is in character, but still. So, shall we start? Shall we? Please, by all means, grab a cup of tea if you do have some, a blanket to, fully realize everything. And, get comfortable. So, a little backstory. So we wrote a couple of poems, sort of a lot of poems actually, and in our poems list, you can blame the Discord server for this, because Oathkeeper sort of helped me create some of these by giving me a random name and a random title. We'll start off with poems and then we'll go on to a book, and I'll give you another reminder for the books. So, is everybody ready? Everyone's doing fine and dandy? Oh shit. Yes, I will be reading the book for you. All you have to do is just simply, if you want to read it along with me, I'll read it for you. Just sit tight, be cozy, eh? Don't worry about it. I'll give more backstory towards the book as we finish our poetry. So, here we are. Today, we're going to read some that I've written yesterday and some that I've completed today. So we're going to start off with one a bit gentle. Today we're going to start with Apples. That's the name of our poem, Apples. Oh god, this tea is great. Oh, this is amazing. Sorry. So, shall we? Can I send in a poem? Yes, if you have any poems that you would like me to read, please do. Though your time frame will be the poem time frame. As soon as it's time to read stories, I'm afraid I can't read any more poems. But yes, feel free to do so. But now, let's start off our first poem, shall we? I just hit you. Not bapples, apples. Apples, apples and pears. Here we are. Dear apple of mine, what secrets do you hold? For in every religion as children we were told that you were the fruit that caused it all. You were the first sin, a sin so sweet, a sin that made us fall. Yet even in that descent you gave us knowledge that we thought we couldn't see. For when you fell in the head of a curious man other than me, you helped us derive from it the secrets of what the world could be. You taught us numbers, you pushed our technology, you taught us more than just physics and biology. Dear apple of mine, the friend to my salvation and damnation, you are the beginning and the end of our imagination. Your reputation continues to change and evolve through time, but your shape and colour will always bring me a smile. For in every story, every instance, you symbolized one thing. You symbolize that the human race can do absolutely anything. You symbolize the daring nature of this broken species, the emotion and lucrative value of their abilities. Yet you are the forbidden fruit, the untold knowledge, humanity's one and only true portrait as an image. But, dear apple of mine, let me rid you of that responsibility, for one day the vermin you've ascended will one day open their eyes to reality. So, there we are. Dad, are you big brain poet? I might perhaps say, damn, going straight up Socrates on us. I will say though, my poetry sort of goes all over the place. Same thing goes with my stories. They don't really have a pattern of thinking, sort of anything. Forget YouTube, just become a famous poet. Can I be both? Is that possible? I would like to be both a famous poet and a VTuber. I don't think they're that good at all, but hey, what can I go about it? But yeah, apples. I love apples. And I guess you could say that I just wanted to do apples in many ways, because apple was the first sin of man. It's the apple that was eaten that caused us to go to Earth as it is. And then you also have like Apple as in like technology, the brand Apple. You also have Apple as in the apple that fell on Sir Isaac Newton, which caused us the whole thing about physics and all that sort of cool stuff. You also have apples being symbolized in dreams as immortality. So I sort of wanted to capture some of it. Hope I did a good job. Becoming a VTuber then for poetry, that would be amazing. Honestly, that would be grand. I'd love that. Hope you like those. So, on to the next one. So the next one, we're going to go a bit more of the white noise. It's called white noise. Stream is way more interesting in Spanish form. Oh, go on to your class. So this one's going to be a very simple one. It's called white noise. I was looking at an air condition in my room today, and I was thinking to myself, oh, white noise is really comfortable, isn't it? It's weird. So I sort of wanted to write something, though this is very short. This is very, very short. Mostly because Ryan called me in the middle of it and scared the shit out of me. So, yeah. So here we are. I find comfort in white noise more than the existence of someone, because through conversation I slowly become no one. Bounded by morals and constraints of respect, every cell in my body morphs to fit that aspect. In need of a friend that cares and listens, that I'll be. In need of a lover so passionate and sweet, today that is me. Wearing my personalities as shirts and underwear, with no concern for the responsibilities each one of them could bear. But white noise will not transform your lines and tear. White noise is like an accessory that goes unnoticed as you wear it. It could be the light breathing of the air-conditioned unit. There we are. Very, very simple. I'm playing Apex and listening to poetry. This is the life. Yes, I suppose so. I suppose. Me right now. What? Write that down. Write that down. I'm gonna steal these from my. Go for it. If they're that good, on we go. Don't worry. Yeah, white noise. So our next one, our next lineup, before we start with our lovely thing, we have The Arm of Time. And I will say this is a very long poem. In fact, this one was sort of a mindfuckery of its own. Basically, I was looking around in my room, which is basically how I start most of my poems. And I looked at my clock and I said, you know, it's funny how a clock is designed the way that it is. Why is it circular? And why did it call the arms of this and the arms of that? I was thinking about it quite a lot, but then it sort of came into my head. I was like, no, it was intentionally designed like this. And I don't know if it is, but I wrote something about it. Your poetry can carry me to. Oh, I hope it does. Excuse me. Here we are. So, next poem, quite a long one. Strap in, boys. This is called The Arm of Time. Of the many great inventions in both technology and design, everything falls in comparison to our symbol of time, with its round shape silently symbolizing the cycle, proudly showing what is both attainable and achievable, as well as the ludicrous and impossible. I would like to think that within the confines of this clock, We represent the arm of the minute in this gridlock. Moving at 1 second intervals and with enough patience, we might reach a minute that holds a certain kind of difference. For the first minute and the 13th may look different, but that is only for we live through the present. If one were to lay out your entire life right in front of you, would you be able to truly identify what these minutes did to you? You spend your days meeting the same people, doing the same thing over and over because it was just so simple. As you stand there proudly proclaiming that your time is too short, you start to lose on the life that you could import. We spend our days giving out our ideas as items to export, telling one another that life is too short to waste being adventurous, and you wonder why the human race in death feels not victorious. You want to live the life you could have lived but chose not to, all because time felt too short for you to try to. And within your procedurally generated movements through the clock, care to get to know your neighbor whom you always reacted with shock. The arm of the hour, the arm that ends the minute, it's always behind you, chasing you, and also following you. How long can you move through your seconds and minutes before it catches up to you? Because one day, the clock will hit midnight, only then will there be no more light. There we go. It sounds like you wrote these while you were really fucking high. I will say this, boredom is a drug. Boredom is a fantastic drug. I thought I was good at poetry quotes. You make me seem like an uncultured piece of swine. Oh, don't say that. Oh, don't say that. Don't be like that. Everyone writes great poetry. Everyone writes good things. People can get inspired off of everything. It's good. It's grand. I believe that people can write things. It's just that they're scared to. They're scared to be vulnerable. They're scared to be themselves. And because of that, we tend to write things that we don't really think will, people will like. And because we don't really like this style and we still continue it, we write something that we are not proud of. And because of that, we write poetry, stories, even design things that we aren't proud of, because this isn't who we are. I write my poetry unexcused. I am unapologetically me, which might be good in some terms, though some other terms it might be really bloody boring. But hey, that's up to you to decide, is it? I'll have another sip if you don't mind. I'll be working on other things for today. Might join the stream later if you are still on. Yeah, I'll be here for a bit, just chatting, simply moving them about. Good night, goodbye, night, good night. Everyone writes great things. Cav has entered the chat. Like, oh, don't be like that. References only certain people will guess. Right. Okay. Last poem, shall we? Last poem before we move on to the story. So, we are going to have... Let's see. Want something not too short and not too much. Okay. I think something a bit more light-hearted, though not really. This one's called Festivities. And when I was writing this, I was thinking of that one level in Nier Automata. The amusement park? The operatic singer of a boss, that boss. I sort of was thinking about her when I was doing that. Hi, Fumi. Hi, hello, Fafa. Hi, Brian. Hello, welcome, both of you. Hello. We've read through 3 poems already, but don't worry, there's still a couple of left. Yeah, still left for you. Don't worry. So, Festivities was sort of made in the idea of that one thing. So, I'm not sure. Did I just hear go? Sorry. No, I say a lot, and every time I'm having good tea. It's sort of a thing with me. And I have something really tasty, I go, oh, that's good. Especially when it's Moorish. When it's Moorish, I do this. Oh, that's good too. Festivities. Shall we go? Among the crowd, you'll hear the sound of people enjoying their food. A path carved only by those who choose to come through. A collection of people with colours of every kind, where the limitations of its traditions are limited to their mind. For one festivity may seem as misjudgment of their sanity, while another might seem as perfect as the prediction of our liability. Here you will find many acts unbeknownst to you. Here you will find yourself doing more than you do. All sense of money, morals and time seem as priceless as our home-brewed dime. Yet I beg of thee to dispel any regard to that thought. It only brings you anxiety and distraught. But why feel such things at the centre of man's vanity? Such terms and conditions should be written with clarity. Within this confined realm of artificial rhythm and blues, you'll partake with our choreography without any of your clues. Your breath will feel light but heavy and warm later on. Do me a solid favour. Forget about the world and dance with me. So that's festivities. That's it. I think I could improve it a bit more. I don't think it's that good, but I could improve it. Maybe, potentially. I'm not sure. I hope you enjoyed it. So, now, for those who have just... Oh, what? Such terms and conditions should be written with clarity. I'm stealing that. Then I will dance with you. Oh, thank you, Sam. Thank you. You're using this to basically steal anything, which is fine. Alright. Next one is going to be a book. So in the description of this video, for those who already were here, you already know the drill. But for those who aren't, and this is your first time here, or possibly you've joined us just now, in the description of this live stream is going to be basically a PDF. It's a Google Drive, and I want you to download it if you would like. It is chapter 1 to chapter 4 of my books that I wrote last summer. Excuse me. Which you can, by the way, buy on Amazon. Actually, not Amazon. I took it off of Amazon. You can buy it on Barnes & Nobles and other places. Please don't buy it, by the way. Please don't buy it. I genuinely, I'm going to be reading the entire book on stream every single Friday, slowly. So, don't buy the book. Please don't. Just sort of relax with me. If you wrote a poem about boobs, you could definitely make it sound high class. And I don't want that. Dad, I want to talk. Oh, come here, my little son. Come here. And everything will be alright. Yeah, okay. What's wrong? Is everything good? Books at Barnes and Nobles, that's how you know you made it big. Local. Oh, you're being too kind. Oh, you're being too kind. Right. So we're going to start doing our book now, shall we? Let me open my copy on mine. By the way, I have the full copy on mine, but all of you will receive it slowly, bit by bit. So don't worry about that part. So let me open up my phone. Here we are. Chapter number 1. Alright. My girlfriend cheating on me. Oh, you poor little soul. Oh, you poor little soul. Hope you feel good though. Come here, hey. Grab some food, grab a blanket, and just relax, eh? You don't have to be here if you don't want to. I'm fine. If you need anything, hey, we're all here for you. Just forget about her. Just read some books, eh? Books by under the fire. It's good. Good things, really. I like fireplaces and tea and books. Also, especially when the weather's so cold and you have to wrap yourself up with a blanket. Hot cocoa is good as well, but I feel like it hurts my thing, so that's why I don't do that. Oh, thank you. Oh, and I love that you're here. Well, cozy up. Do you have your copy prepared? I can't be. I'm glad. So have your copies prepared. Is everyone's PDF open? Again, you don't have to. If you prefer to always, just hear me reading out to you, but if you'd like to have it in front of you while I'm reading it, please, by all means, that's also fine. Anything that gets you comfortable. Come on, it's been a long week. Just relax, eh? Do the thing that makes you comfortable. We good? I hope we're good. I'm starting. Alright, so I won't say the name of the book because if I did, there's a high possibility you might find it. So I'm just going to read it. Okay. Chapter 1. The Waiter. There's no such thing as a beating heart for me. The drum beats were perhaps a ticking clock. All I hear are the hands of time move in harmony. Both the minute and the hour acting as my ventricles shall do what they do best, provide a never-ending ambience to the scenery of a man who waits, who does nothing but wait, and will do no further than wait. The boy whose overthinking mind succumbs his perception of time, distorting the appearance of the hands, hallucinating the minute as the hour as the day, yet in his never-ending wait he finds that such vision bears no fruit. In the attempt to look back at the time that flew by, his perception regains its composure. Within the moments it felt like eternity. He looks back at the very moments he had lived, and within the inspection of this patient killer, he finds the choreographies of time to be present as if they were to be viewed by an initiator. Ostensibly practiced movements with an array of expressions tugging at the heartstrings. It may very well be more than just a tug, a shattering if not performed carefully. Though keeping in mind that dance and other forms of art do portray emotions in varying degrees, one could interpret that form of routine as just another part of the show, and none would be the wiser. Little do I care for the details I may view for as long as I desire, but such eagerness was long replaced by hatred, and soon after this very gift which I view as a curse shall be accustomed to me as I am to it. Familiar as these tics and tricks may be, my relationship to them is of unfamiliarity. How could something as familiar as the natural order of the cosmos in relation to time be both familiar to us in the sense of use? We give time such power over us, creating respect for those who uphold it, disdain to those who fail to do so. We create deadlines at a time, we refer to time in every sentence possible, and the biggest question to ever be asked, the only question that will be asked at the very hour is, how much time do I have left? The prospect of harvest seems far and few. Like an amateur farmer, I've picked up an unripe fruit. Or was it done by decision, or tricked by an illusion? The lack of knowledge and perspective befits me more than being candidate to my own lunacy. Of the many choices I've made, the choices that command mastery over the very laws of a philosopher, whose reputation is nothing more than the three laws used for the sake of an argument, in which neither side seek resolution, but instead, they seek domination over the opinion of the other. But in a way, am I imposing such ideals of mine to you as well? The very elasticity of time hinges on the fabric of thought and opinion. A minute of revolution could be stretched out to 6 years of restless waiting. As you wait the events that unfold before you, the arrived passengers greet the ones who have waited. Every hour of those 6 long years, passengers arrived one by one and were offered hospitality by the ones who have waited. As a reward for their patience, they are gifted handsomely with an allotted time unbeknownst to them to act out what they please. May the act be of judgment, pleasure of the flesh, freedom of any form, be it of imprisonment of the mind or the body, or perhaps this act is of sin. Alternatively, the act could also be of virtue, but of virtue to whom? I suppose the arrived passengers are for me, but none I recognize. I remember what I'm waiting for, however these arrived passengers are sent for me nonetheless. Not for me to prosper with, yet they disguise themselves for that very cause of crowding my vision with their height and their ungodly masses. With all their decorative embroideries and characters, descriptions of brighter futures, calmer winds and breathful intakes of oxygen. Promises made and promises broken, these arrived passengers are no more than art pieces with people picking them up with no care in the world for their interpretation. Are these paragraphs as clear to me as they are to you? Or has the passage of time permitted me the capacity to do so? Nevertheless, they pose no such threat, at least not for an eye clouded by the veil. They pose the very threat that falls in line with the inevitable. They harbour more time. Another second of waiting, another tick of the clock that never ends. That's chapter 1. A little break before chapter 2. Need to read if something haven't, but if we have the name of the book, then we could buy it and support you. No, it's fine. Don't support me, or please. I'm not here to get supported and get funds. I'm here to make you relax. I want you to relax. I want you to feel calm and, feel yourself. And I don't want you to spend money. You don't have to spend money to relax. Well, you do at some points, but with here, you don't have to. If my voice relaxes you and such poetry streams do relax you, then by all means, please don't pay. Would love to help you. Well, as much as I can, that is. Oh, my tea has gone cold. Wedding into chapter 2. Big boy number. That's where all the big boys are at. Eh? Chapter 2. The arrived passengers. Creatures. Ideologies. How to describe the arrived passengers? One might say that they are processed, mangled with words perfectly laid out to restrict one illusion of will. Others say they are predestined motions with the continuum of time used to move along the fate of those, too stubborn to proceed any further. They carry with them weapons far more destructive than our man-made instruments of war. Their tonality are not of brass, steel, or copper. Their subharmonic and dynamic range outclass that of any device. Weapons that bring harm not only to the body but also to the mind. Wounds inflicted by such weapons can only be healed by another arrived passenger. Ironic, don't you think? The one that inflicts are the ones that also heal, within a trade whose sole purpose is to interfere. Strange creatures, are they not? With their weapon, wars can end and start at their own will, yet they are content with playing God on a scale far smaller than one would care for. Isn't that funny? An immature god jollying through his plans without a care for the world and the repercussions that come with it. Coming from a destination unknown to us, they may very well come from the land which no man walks. They come in droves, packed and armed, but worry not, for in their pride they come alone, never to interact with a fellow member of the brigade. They find power in helplessness. Being the prey is exactly what they want to be. Adrenaline addicts who find thrill in being hunted, or rather elaborate trickery, like a wolf in sheep's clothing, they await the next shepherd. Furthermore, with powers of manipulation under their belts, downsides must be present. At the mercy of our lovely director, such a thing does not exist. In their infinite power, they may only access finite quantities of perception, hence why a war is avoided. Arrived passengers know nothing of their power or lineage. With this, arrived passengers assume they are waiters, too, awaiting an arrived passenger as well. Little do they know, they are the very people they were waiting for. They can live their entire lives knowing not of anything, continuing to pose as a waiter. They battle their kind or sometimes welcome them with arms. Excuse me, I was about to burp. In the end, arrived passengers or waiters, they are no different in the limited scope of perception. Amongst their kind, one shone through the horde. It would be hysterical to call it light. The actions then after committed by it were far from the reputation light bearers had. He brought forth darkness when many gods brought light. He brought temptation when many gods brought satisfaction, clouding judgment and manipulating nature. Little by little, even the holier beings of Arusa fell to his presumed light. The beings of Arusa whom sat on their thrones longer than Andrew the Patient. One after the other, the gods of Arusa fell into the pits of doubt. Their followers, whose beliefs and habits were firmly impacted by their chosen gods, became worshippers of the pit, circling the circular crater as they worship and pray for the return of their gods. Dressed in rugged robes with colours resembling that of blood, they continue a chant from the dawn of the first sun until the settlement of the second moon. Voices that carry no such thing as volume, their synchronized voices intertwine, producing an ear-piercing harmony that lends itself to the likes of the third actor. You can't help but listen. You have no choice but to listen. These cries of return pollute the soundscape of the city, in a city that knows no noise outside of their confined rooms. One cannot simply disregard their chants. Almost like a spell, it stays in your head, and sooner or later the chant becomes a part of you. You, like a mesh to a network, relay the chant, infecting those untarnished. Repeating, never stuttering, never breaking in solidarity. The words never end, and with each passing day they grow hoarse, hungry, thirsty, and deprived. These chants were once the flag bearers during the time of war, but now they are tolling the bells to a garrison that fights no more. Silence, the voice of which is not of worship. Silence, the voice of which is not for prayer. Gods, demis, and inhabitants of the city, pray for the return of our mercy. Some even say that the infamous arrived passenger has put these poor people's souls into it, feeding them just about enough to allow them to exist, but not so much as they are to be satisfied, tricking them into believing their prayers had merit, that the gods below are keeping their lives going as long as they believe, so they pray and pray and pray. Their eyes fixated on the first sun, never to blink, even if their eyes were to burn, and burn they did. The poor souls of those that prayed continue. Some even say that new blood gets added to the fray. Might it be the sound of the chant that lingers, or a conscious decision to join the cause? There we are. What's little break. This is way better than reading some shitty isekai manga that has a black enemy. Oh, you're so kind. There is a lot of what do you call it? Like good in isekai sometimes. It's not though present too much, but it's good to a certain pedigree. Hi, Fumi. Hi, Risu. Hi. Oh wait, be right back. Okay. What's your pen name? So when I quote you, I can give you credit. How about this? Credit me as the VTuber, like Fumiyo. Don't credit my pen name. Because if you know my pen name, you will know my book, because my book has my pen name. Therefore, it will lead to possible purchases of the book, which I don't want you to do. Sorry. My friends scold me a lot about this. They do, funnily enough. My friends always tell me you should monetize your book, you should allow people to buy it. But anytime that someone shows any interest to my book, I sort of just send them the PDF free of charge. Because I want feedback, I want input on how I can get better. Input isn't really, gotten from money. I want the book. Oh, my son, don't worry. I will be reading the book every Friday. It's a continuation thing, so I'll continue it. You don't have to buy the book, don't worry. And if you want the book, I'll give it to you, but I'll remove the copy, as in like the book cover and any source of pen name. I'm sorry I'm late. No, it's okay. Hello, welcome, Sarah. It's fine. Hi, hello, welcome. We are on chapter 2 of the book. So sorry that you couldn't have joined us in the beginning, but it's okay. There's 2 more chapters before I have to end the stream. So Sarah, in the description of this live stream, there's a PDF link or a Google Drive link. Click that and you will be downloading basically a PDF for you to read along with me. Don't worry, you don't have to read it out loud to yourself. I'll be reading it. Just relax, okay? We're on chapter 3. Okay, but I give input and $5 isn't a lot. Wait, never mind. Probably to be $50. 5 is so cheap. Oh, it's fine. Don't worry. I don't want... Feedback is far more valuable than money. Can you send me the pen name or the PDF? You know what? Fine. Don't buy the book. I'll give you the pen name, but please don't buy the book. By all means, please don't. The book is called The Actor by Hart Crosstein. That's my pen name, Hart Crosstein. Heart space Crosstein. That's my name, Hart Crosstein. Well, not my name, but my pen name. I might release a new book actually one day. I'm not sure. It's still in its writing process. The actor. Right, I swear to God. Chat, please don't buy the book. I'm going to read the book live every Friday. Please, just don't buy it. Okay. It's worth no money, no need, right? Alright, so welcome back, Ryan. We are now in chapter 3. Let me have a bit more of my tea. 20, so good. Oh god, hello. Buy the book, read the book. No! Read the book, buy the PDF that I'm going to be giving. Do not buy the book, okay? Don't buy the book, please don't. Make 3 years about the book. Oh, by the heavens. Okay. Let's try to be on schedule. Chapter 3. Oh, hi, hello, welcome to the stream. First time I think I see you here. In the description of the video, there is a link. Go to that link, download the PDF, and we're on chapter 3. Go to chapter 3. We're reading that. Without further ado, let's get to chapter 3, shall we? A bit of a cough from me. Do excuse me. Chapter number 3. The third actor. A story goes around between freshmen about 2 actors that were sent here because of an unspeakable act that they had performed during a play. The tale goes that the director had a play in mind, including 2 actors and a third actor in particular. The play was straightforward. It was about 2 dwellers walking around a white empty box. They had lines to convey as part of the play, but those lines were never mentioned to an outsider, let alone the freshman. The second actor forgot her lines and role in the play. She scrambled her mind trying to remember her position and her lines. The third actor took this chance to whisper into her ears to indulge in on the tree. Colour it red, my dear young actress. It is but your role to fulfill. Mind not the reasoning. The colours will bring a joyous feeling to that empty tree. The director forbid them from touching or even thinking about the tree. This was considered unreasonable, but with much persistence, the third actor prevails. She knew not of the sense of the director that within the minute of the brush casting its first stroke, the presence of such a being of command came forth. They were stripped of their titles, ranks, prestige, and the rights to remain where they stand. To be exiled away from the land they knew far too well, or maybe it was a land they knew too little of. The two actors whom fell into the temptation of a man ended up in Mundo, while the third actor became an arrived passenger. They say that his influence wraps itself around the necks of other actors. He tempts to fail them and become a part of his ever-growing army, to revolutionize, or to lead to demise. Little is known of his objective, and as time passes by, the reasoning to anything is slowly cared for less and less. No need to answer. Content as they are with the events that followed. After all, who would believe a man of science or intelligence over the delight of the familiar and logical consciousness? Freedom of thought shall not be expressed within the presence of such inhabitants. Mere echoes of thought inhabit this watered-down civilization they call home. But home to what exactly? To damnation at the forefront of your doorstep? Perhaps home to those whom abandoned thinking in return for comfort. All is but a curious fit for no such man to embark on. Delve too deep, and you may find what should not be found. In truth, some things should be kept a lie. Certain aspects of stories are kept because, in the end, curiosity yet again killed the actor. Oh, sorry. What's going on? That was there's the cover. Have Lily. What? Have a little girl on it. No, well, it's a boy. It's not a girl. I'm eating ramen and watching. Oni-chan. Where did you find the book? Just put the actor on Google. Never mind, Oni-chan. I found it. Don't buy the book, please. Don't buy the book. Read it. But just don't buy the book, please. All right. Sorry. Wait, $10 is basically beer money. Yeah, it's not that good for like a lot of money. We don't have to spend money at all. Please don't. Alright. Our final chapter, boys. Our final chapter for the day, at least. Continuing this next Friday. My throat is a bit... Here we go. The stage of Mundo is vast and diverse, a theatre with people from distinctive walks of life, a diversified cast of misfits, as one would call it, yet in their difference they got along quite well. The actor who was not born into the theatre made his way through his undeveloped legs. At a very young age he made many escapes into this place to express his thrill of the arts. He was often scolded by his guardian for interrupting plays, throwing off the dynamic of the actors in charge of the play. Be it his stubbornness or his lack of understanding, he repeated such an act every single week until the day he enrolled onto the stage. What an assortment of plays. What will a member of the stage act out? With a large schedule of plays lined up and a hefty cast of actors under their belt, one could only wonder what sort of plays do they produce. Happy ones? A recreation of Humpty Dumpty? Or a romantic one such as Romeo and Juliet? One may only imagine the involvement one could have. The Moon Crescent Theatre, which is a theatre that the actor is a part of, fraternized with works of art from books to pre-existing plays, but the main feature of this theatre that has led them to be known across the city of Arusa is the fact that their plays are original and always unusual. The actor would often write his own scripts, practicing them backstage before every play, hoping that the director had something planned for him. He had an affinity towards writing and wrote plays of his own about family and the tragedy of losing them. For unexplained reasons, he had an ability to perform with an unmatched passion. His words felt real and held weight. This band of actors all love the director, following every command to the letter, even to the finest detail of the stroke. The director is kind and loving, always there when you need someone to talk to, although the director doesn't really talk much, if not at all. When the director talks, It's done with hints rather than being straightforward, riddles rather than contextualized sentences. The folk of this city, the actors included, are lovers of the director's sense of art. The way the words are weaved into place, firmly gripping your attention and only letting go when permitted. There was no such thing as free will. They are all snakes to the rhythm of the pen as the director writes another masterpiece without breaking a sweat. Being a freshman actor, he was still new to the stage, insecure with his facial expressions, tone, form, and delivery. With each passing play, he became curious as to how he can improve and what kind of truth do some of these plays hold. Convinced not that the play of The Merchant of Venice was about religion or love, maybe the play was just a moral joke only understood by those of the olden days. You could never shake the feeling that there is more to be seen between the lines on these pages, experiences left unfelt, stories left untold like a hidden program to an orchestral piece known only by the composer and the conductor. Why would one miss out on the ecstasy of truth? He thought to himself. Fueled with curiosity, and the newly appointed actor would hover over his seniors, sometimes asking for advice, sometimes simply observing. Innocently, he paid attention to their every move, not once heeding his own style. To him, his style of peculiar lacked, polish, never using it in fear of embarrassment. In his clouded thought, a newcomer joins the theatre, one whose presence alone was enough to silence even this confined room. Okay, I'm going to stop for a bit. Let me read chat. Books are always more expensive than care. Yeah, it is annoying, but I don't even pay for books, I just pirate them. I like paper. I also like hard copies, but when you have $20 to your name at the moment, practically true. I like hard copies as well. But yeah, so, how about you pirate my book, aka I'll literally give it to you. Alright, shall we continue? From the very back of the sitting arrangement stepped in a tall young man, dressed in a black, almost damage-stated longcoat. The heel of his boots resonated through the theatre. The whole place is padded as to prevent sound reverbing back around the room, yet his heels posed a challenge. Either that or the heel will echo no matter the room he was in. Naive, our little actor approached the man, welcoming him into the stage. Greetings! Welcome to the stage of Mundo. I'm newly appointed actor, but I do know well enough on how to traverse this place, I mean. The third actor, with an unwavering stare, did not hesitate to inspect the boy. Up and down he looked at him, appraising his worth. A mouth smelling of months-old burnt cigarettes opens. In a monotone yet articulated tone, the third actor replies, "That is, young man, I know my way around the stage more than anyone present in this room." He lets out a smirk as he looks off to the side. Excited upon hearing this man may possibly be a senior of arts. And so he asked, "If it were not to be a bother, would you be so kind as to tell me pointers upon which I can improve on? I'm afraid my abilities are not of any contribution yet." His smirk turned into a smile. With a thunderous roar, he exclaimed to the third actor, "I did not know! Snakes were raised in this flock of pigeons!" The onlookers, even those who cared not for the conversation or the presence of the man, have now turned their eyes to the owner of the voice. Puzzled by his words, the actor asks, "Is there snakes in reference to me?" "My apologies. It seems the silence of this town took over me. For your kindness and patience, let me reward you handsomely," the third actor said. He laid his arms on the shoulder of the actor, urging him to walk with him. The third actor glances over his shoulder and smirks yet again. The receiver of such a cunning facial expression was the director, who in return displayed disappointment towards one of them. The pacing of their feet came to an end when the boy and the third actor made their way into his dressing room. Sitting down on the couch with his legs crossed and an arm resting in his head of the couch, the third actor entertained the idea and conversed with the actor. Okay. The boy got what he wanted, more than what he asked for. He was given knowledge even people around him were not supposed to know. Taboo arts, techniques lost to time, movements and trickery that looked supernatural. With this, the morphing of the boy began. There was no way around it. This metamorphosis began and had to happen for his newly found knowledge to simmer down inside of him. In order to become what he aspires to be, he had to become what he never knew he could be. For every role he was given, he lost a bit of the love for the arts he once had. Long gone was the boy fascinated by the antics and the technicality of production. In his place came the boy of critical affairs. The script satisfied him no more. He grew hungry over words that could string an emotion or grammatical elegance that may or may not prove to be more than just a trope. He belittled plays and nitpicked on what he once loved. He called his plays amateur work, a waste of time and ink. He burned them, threw them away, mocked each and every word on the page that he once took pride in. From the sidelines watching this unfold, two figures uninvolved directly in any play performed, watched as the actor that once was is now no more rip himself apart. The director stood there calmly, with papers in his hand, and the third actor, with his arms crossed, he peeked over his shoulder at the director, whispering to his ears. Oh. Sorry about that, I had to burp. Rats and snakes will always be present, but I wonder how many more pigeons will fall from your grace, lose their wings, all in favour of satisfaction that leads them nowhere. Unfazed by his words, the director continued to write and read, recycling through his papers through and through. Hold on, I'm gonna read chat for a bit. Let's see. But he is great, and also a signed hard copy. Fumiyo merch should be a signed hard copy of his book. Fumiyo by wow, come on, you guys. Oh, you're being kind. Well, let's get through with this book now, shall we? We're almost there. Do as you always do. Write it down as me, who bears the blame of your twisted actors. Omnipotent is always good, never harming. Isn't that right, director? Backing away from the director's shoulders, he pulls out a pocket watch and stared at it for a brief period of time. How long until they realize? The third actor said, closing the lid of his watch. Composure still intact, the director continued on with business, not giving thought to the existence of the man onto his side. No words still. All that you care about are the plays you write. You produce these actors to act out your drama, never caring for their own livelihood. Maybe that's why you let them go, forsaking them from their rights. His smile extended from ear to ear, contorting the muscles in his face to an expression made not by anyone of any acting caliber. I wonder what I can make these two do, eh? But you wouldn't mind, right, Mr. Co-author? The third actor said in a mocking tone. The pen that did nothing but write stopped, snapping under the overwhelming pressure exerted by its handler's emotions. The third actor turned his head towards the director. He scoffed. Seems like I said too much. Adjusting his coat, he makes his way back to the entrance of the theatre, opening the door with his left hand, but before his exit, he looks over his shoulder one more time. The eyes of the actor and the third actor cross. He motions with his lips, with a smile. You'll never be enough. The door was banged shut, startling the actors around who were currently in the middle of a play. The actor, on the other hand, kneeled down to his feet. Despair overcame him. No longer was his master there to teach him and guide him. His teachings and methodology remained with him, but to be told by someone far more superior than you that your efforts are nothing but child's play destroyed the boy. The third actor's teachings reverberated like whispers into his ears, ideas of acts to be committed that no actor would be pleased by. In the end, the actor listened. He would do this again and again and again, until it consumed him. More and more. The words acted like water. The actor was the balloon being filled up on the verge of exploding. It was all blown up like a pig. Are you okay? Asked his fellow actor on stage. There was never an act. It was always real, Sebastian. With a distorted voice, not of his own, he replied. What are you saying? Said Sebastian. The actor scratched his nails against his face. inflicting wounds on every part of his neck, nails digging through his cheeks with blood dripping down onto stage. "Stop it! You will hurt yourself!" shouted Sebastian. Sebastian dropped his papers in an attempt to stop the actor. In an instant, the actor pushed off Sebastian, knocking him down from his feet. "More, more, more," said the actor, as his voice grows more distorted in pitch and tone. The voice of actor seemed to become more hoarse than his own, like a collective of people repeating his words for him. He bites on his fingernails, firmly pulling on them with his teeth. To their surprise, the fingernail did not lodge itself out, and instead it grew in length. The harder he pulled, the longer it got, the louder he screamed. To many onlookers, including those involved in the play, this was no longer a man. The actor did this to both of his hands until all 10 of them were as long as 8 inches. The new nails proved to be sharper, pierced deeper into his muscles. His skin from the inside bloated. Something was growing between his wounds. Singular circles of fluids took form, rapidly appearing across his neck. Bothered by his clothes, he tore through them, cutting them with no rhyme or reason, simply cutting through every part of his body as he can. Body mass ceased to exist as his muscles became nourishment to the new hosts of his body. His figure slowly lost its frame of reference, transformed into something never before conceived by man or the gods below. There was nothing to be done by the onlookers and bystanders. This was not part of the script. No one practiced their lines for this. This was not supposed to happen. Terror, amazement, fear, arousal, and many more forms of expression were nurtured into existence by the many actors that watched as the filth of man unraveled before them. The parasites that grew all over repurposed his muscles and returned the nourishment to that one that hosts them, allowing him to grow more to accommodate them. Shrieks of the actor grew louder and sharper, his natural order of cells breaking and reconstructing themselves as he was kept awake for his transformation. Burning and torn stretched beyond the limits of the human body. The sounds of bones being broken were heard. The muscles pressing against his bones broke them, and blood leaked from the crevices made from such a violent exchange. The actor grew tall. His limbs got longer. His face morphed into what resembled a vulture, a ribcage full of those parasites sleeping in their orange bubble, pulsating in comfort. Vocal cords of the man that once was no longer present. Screams have halted as the transformation ended. Uncomfortable was the speed at which this change went by, seemingly almost as if it were meant to be. 10 feet tall, curled into a ball, quietly the actor protecting the eggs of the creatures that are now inside of him. Within those bubbles were small figures resembling underdeveloped infants connected each by an umbilical cord. The actors on stage didn't know how to react, and they were not to blame. But from that day on, the actor remained center of the stage. Nobody moved him as instructed by the director. He is to be kept on stage and to never leave it, no matter what the cause is. He stood there as a reminder to the other actors to never fall for the lies of the third actor. But every now and then, a voice can be heard from the actor repeating to himself, "I shouldn't have listened to him. I shouldn't have followed him. It was a mistake. I've betrayed my kind. Let my children be of your kind." He wanted to know more about the stage, the reason behind every play, and what his role was in their plays. He fell slowly in love with the linguistic movements of the third, overlooking the mysteries, nature of his hellish plays. Either way, he too has fallen alongside many others. No use for identities now. No use for pronouns or labels or titles. No use for human characteristics to describe such a creature as him. He knows now as well as any other actor that the director wrote this in. It was a tragic ending to a pretentious attempt to create balance. He is the conscious and the consequence of the third. But yet again, curiosity killed another actor. That's the end of the fourth. Good heavens. Oh days, let me see this. ASMR. I'm gonna start calling you Father Fumiyo as you give such strong pastor vibes. Oh, my days. Thank you. There you go. That is the fourth chapter, and the final chapter that is going to be read for today. Gee, Dad, I love you. Oh, I love you too, son. I love you so much. Hope all of you enjoyed this thing that I'm doing. I was never quite sure if this was something people will enjoy, but I think I will continue it because it's something I enjoy doing. I like writing poetry and I like reading to people, so I guess I'll do this. So every Friday, hopefully, I'll get a schedule so that everybody knows what's going on and everything. Can you get an off the top titty po? Get on that top. You know what? I will get you a titty poem soon after. How about that, eh? I'll get you a titty poem next Friday. I promise. How about that? But that will probably be it for poetry night. Comfy poetry stuff. I don't want it to be too long, because I thought maybe people will get bored. Maybe people won't be enjoy this. I'm open to the idea, so we'll keep it for an hour for now. If I see that a lot of people like it, or maybe I would like to read more because as we go into the books, chapters will get longer. Therefore, I might really push my limits. But every single Friday there'll be new poems at the start of everything. And then after that, I will be having more reading. I missed it. Yes, sorry. I started about an hour ago. Sorry about that. Maybe next time, or you could listen to the VOD if that is something that you are up to. But, yeah, get bored. Who dares get bored with this masterful literature? Oh, you're being too kind. Oh, you're being far too kind. Well, now, of course, to compensate both mediums of my audience, hopefully, if I don't bitch out or chicken out, in about 5 hours to 4 hours, there'll be another stream, but this one is going to be, well, not really poetry. It will be a Outlast stream. So later tonight we will be playing Outlast. I'll be turning all the lights off. I'll be maxing out the volume. I'll be wearing headphones. So we'll have an Outlast stream. How about that, eh? I'm being too kind. I kick puppies for a living. I'm not kind. But yeah, don't kick the puppies. Oh, the puppies are far too cute. Don't do that to them. But yes, we'll have an Outlast stream hopefully later on tonight. I've been wanting to play Outlast 2, but I didn't really have much time, and I got lucky actually last night, so I think we'll have some Outlast streams, hopefully, if everything goes to proper order. Oh yeah, what tea were you drinking? It sounded really good. Oh, I was drinking, let me see. I was drinking Twang's pure green tea. Green tea is a great accompaniment to reading, though I prefer Earl Grey, but we didn't really have any Earl Grey for today, so I sort of had to be content with whatever tea we had. So it was either this or Lipton. I don't like Lipton that much. I'm not a fan. But this one, on the other hand, was really good. I like this. This is always good. Are you streaming later? Yes, I will be always streaming Outlast, as I've mentioned. I'll be streaming Outlast if I feel up to it. I'll be closing off the light. I'll be turning on stereo sound for my headphones. It will appear normal on stream, but for me it'll be more 3D. So hopefully we get scared. Hopefully I will scream, which I'll try my best to make it scarier for me. Lipton is kind of a sin against tea. Exactly. Lipton is sin. Dad, I just got silver 1 in Apex. I'm proud of you. Good job. I'm proud of you. That's my boy. Keep going, you'll get to diamond, and maybe even predator. Bye, Brian. So, chat, thank you very much. You have been lovely. You have been kind. I hope that you have been relaxed. Friday is the end of this week. School. I hope school has ended for you, as in terms of school ended for this week. I hope you've done all your homework. If there is a lot of homework, please get to it quickly so you can relax. Thank you very much for being here. You were ever so kind, always, as always. Thank you for allowing me to read these poems and also this book to you. It was of utmost pleasure to me. Now, thank you for your hard work at your school. Rest up, drink some water, stay hydrated, please sleep well. I worry about you, all of you, sometimes. I really do. But please, bore me more. I will. I'll jump in the server and bore you. I got you. Anyway, you've been lovely. My name has been Fumiyo-kun. It's been a pleasure. My pleasure, of course. And I hope all of you take care. Bye-bye. Be safe. I love you. Bye.